Here is my audience. Hello there, my name is Shane Baldridge. The question that resurfaces on a daily basis is, do violent video games create violent people? I believe that they do not. And I am here to persuade others that this over-the-top, brutal topic has no effect towards other people. I'll start by talking about what is considered a violent video game, as well as how video game companies rate their games based on their content, and how childlike video games would seem innocent to anyone but could be violent themselves. Followed after with research that correlates violence in video games to aggressive behaviors. And finally, personal experiences from friends and family about this topic. To me, a violent video game is considered to be a game that allows a player to kill, abuse, assault, whatever is pretty much illegal to this day. And such games, here for an example, include Doom Eternal's story, where you're hacking and slashing through demons in hell as a one-man army, as well as making a mass chaos in Grand Theft Auto, where you're racking up wanted levels against the police. Shooting down people in first-person shooter games such as Call of Duty, Halo, Battlefield, just to name a few, and especially Mortal Kombat's fatalities. They were so gruesome and gory and bloody that Australia banned it from its country. Here are some pictures that show the stuff I was talking about in the last slide. As you can see, Scorpion here in the middle from Mortal Kombat. You can't really see what he's doing, but he is performing a fatality, or he is splitting a person in half with his chain. Over here we have Doom Eternal, just killing demons with a gun, shooting them down. GTA, where you have an expanse of weapons and arsenal that you can shoot people, blow up buildings, cars, whatever you feel like. And the infamous mission called No Russian within Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. This mission was so offensive and gruesome to other people that they updated the game in which you were able to skip the mission. Here we have the ESRB versus PEGI. ESRB, also known as the Entertainment Software Rating Board, as well as PEGI being the Pan-European Game Information. Both of these are most commonly seen, as these would be on your video games where the discs are held, and these numbers would show usually during a commercial before the game's announced. The ESRB rates towards a specific audience, like E being for everyone, T being for teens, M being for mature, and AO being for adults only, while as PEGI has numbers. These numbers, like 3, 7, 12, 16, and 18, usually refer to the age, like the age of 7 and older, or the age of 12 and older. Now, kid-friendly games, they don't look violent, they look colorful, and they look like they can appeal to children. But it's also depending on how you perceive the violence. Take Minecraft for an example. You have an open world that you can explore, you can create buildings, you can do whatever you want in this game pretty much. But if your settings were to a more harder difficulty, you would be surviving the night, with fighting off against zombies, skeletons, spiders, creepers, and witches that I can remember from the game. For the younger generation, we have Fortnite. It was a very big craze for them, and as you can see, it looks very colorful to the eye. You got like some cartoony characters in the background, but in realistic or the realistic purpose for this game was to have a free-for-all battle royale where one person is left alive to win. And my favorite childhood game, Pokemon. Pokemon required 2 or more Pokemon to go against each other in a fight or a battle, and whoever came out on top was the victor. The animal rights group known as PETA saw this game as it condoned violence and animal cruelty. So today, the factual evidence behind video games towards aggressive behaviors in people, there's no true factual evidence that correlates to these 2 topics. And from an article from BBC News, mastering the video game was far more significant than the content of the video game itself. Although several studies were conducted, violence in video games had no sufficient evidence towards lethal violence in people. To me personally, I have been playing video games for years now, but when I got into these more so violent video games is when I first started high school, when I switched from Nintendo to Xbox. I played Call of Duty and Halo and Saints Row, much like a GTA game, but just way more wackier. But I've never felt the urge of becoming violent, nor have the anger to a certain extent. Yes, I do admit that when I lose a game, I become angry and frustrated, but I don't go to a higher level than that. Now, with my friends and family that I've played with before, none have shown violence towards each other nor to their personal environments. Like my cousins, they play a bunch of violent hunting games where you can see the actual gore within the animals being hunted, but to me, they're still very sweet people to this day. On a more serious note, if you're dealing with emotional issues or aggressive behavior issues, there is other ways of coping with these methods. You can find things that you love to do and create them into hobbies, go outside and explore the open world. You can also talk to people, enjoy spending time with friends and family, and as well as seeking help through the national helpline that I have here displayed on the TV. And in conclusion, there is no sufficient evidence that can be substantiated, and I strongly believe that the evidence towards violence in video games do not create violence in other people. Thank you. Once again, here is my audience.